So at the end of May, I posted a video about perfumes that I had been wearing, some stuff that I'd been testing out, things that were in the rotation to wear, and that was a topic that was suggested by a viewer just to kind of see, what everyday perfume wearing looks like other than long form reviews. And I really liked it because I got to talk about some perfumes that maybe I'd reviewed already, or some that I was never going to review because they were just samples, but I enjoyed them anyways. And maybe some that, I'm not ready to review yet because I don't necessarily understand them well enough. So I decided to do that again. I'm going to talk about the perfumes that I wore in the month of June and just like some experiences with them and some thoughts. Now, summer in Calgary, where I live, is super cold, so my fragrance rotation might look different than your fragrance rotation for the month of June because we just don't have very many, at least this year, we didn't really have very many warm days. Other than that, I did have the opportunity to smell some of my perfumes with some people that maybe aren't into perfume so much, and with some other friends, and that always leads to interesting observations and conversations. So some of that might come up as I smell this stuff too. One of the things that happened was that I have a friend who has a very extensive perfume collection, more extensive than mine for sure, and she was kind enough to lend me 2 bottles. So I did wear those a lot, and I'll talk about those first. The first one is Nishane Fan Your Flames. I was kind of talking about beachy perfumes and perfumes with a coconut note. I think it's kind of difficult to do a coconut note really well because it either comes off as being too plasticky and synthetic, or it comes off as being very sweet. She let me Fan Your Flames because this does have a coconut note in it, and she didn't really say much more about it. I'll show you. The presentation is really beautiful. I don't have a Nishane perfume in my collection, so this was the first one that I got to experience. Rum, tobacco, tonka, oak moss, Chinese cedarwood, and coconut. That's the bottle. Really, really beautiful. I did smell this on strip, and then I tried it on skin. This perfume really did not work for me. It's really a gourmand perfume. There is a booziness in the top notes because of the rum note, and I didn't enjoy that at all. I decided that I really don't like boozy notes very much. And then on my skin, I just got a lot of coconut, and it was like a coconut cream. Like, it was a very dense, very syrupy, very extremely sweet, heavy coconut. I did wear this on a cool day, so I don't think that it was the weather making it feel that way. I think on my skin, it just felt way too heavy. This is also an extrait de parfum, so it's super duper strong. I wore one spray of it and I could smell it for the whole entire day. I basically washed it off at the end of the day when I took a shower, and that's when I stopped smelling it. It just didn't work for me. Like, in the atomizer, it smells pretty good. Like, it smells really good in the atomizer. It just didn't work on my skin. So that was unfortunate, but at least I got to try it. And I didn't wear very much of it. I wore, like I said, one spray, and then I wasn't compelled to wear it again. When I was looking up reviews of Fan Your Flames, I saw that there's a lot of men that have reviewed this perfume. So maybe it would smell better on a man. I don't know. Maybe it is one that leans a little bit more masculine or appeals to men because of the listed note of rum and tobacco. Like I said, I really got rum, but I did not get any tobacco, but maybe that would come out on someone else. I can get tobacco in the atomizer, like a tobacco leaf, but wasn't for me. I was impressed by the longevity, but it just felt like swimming through thick, heavy coconut cream for the entire day. and my nose did fatigue of this perfume. I will be returning this back to my friend, and didn't really make too much of a dent in it, and that's fine. But I'm super grateful that I at least got to try it. I probably wouldn't even need a decant of it to try it, because I literally wore one spray and then I put one spray on strips. So I probably used less than 1 ml of this perfume. The other perfume that she lent me, I liked much better. This is a brand, again, that I don't have in my collection. I was not familiar with it before. They were at Essence in Milan, but I didn't get a chance to talk to anyone there. I definitely will if I go again. This is Rosendo Mateu number 4. Rosendo Mateu was a perfumer. He has passed away. He was a perfumer. He worked for a lot of really big brands and larger perfume houses, and then he created his own brand. Number 4 has saffron, vanilla, and oud. That's the notes that are listed on it. I loved this perfume. I thought it smelled so good. So I did smell this with my friend. There's a bitterness from the oud that comes out immediately when you spray it. It was apparent on her skin. It came out on my skin too. But then later on, I got a lot of vanilla, like a spicy, leathery vanilla from this perfume. The saffron note is super prominent and lasts the whole time. I really just fell in love with this perfume. I found it to be so addictive. I got so many compliments every time I wore it. So this one I wore more than once. I probably wore it 5 or 6 times. Yeah, I think that what people perceive as a spicy vanilla, I think that's the sillage that it gives off on my skin. That oud didn't really last a long time, but you kind of need the bitterness there to kind of temper the sweetness of the vanilla. I think that this is a really nicely blended, well-balanced perfume. Again, I think this one is really genderless. It could work on men or women or anybody. I liked this one. I was super impressed by it. Again, longevity was great. I literally wanted to swim in this. It's an eau de parfum, but I feel like it's a little bit more concentrated than most eau de parfums that I've smelled or that I've tried. It just has a strength that maybe isn't present in most other eau de parfums. And maybe that's the vanilla. Vanilla just seems to stick around for a little bit longer than other notes. But the saffron also is pretty prominent and lovely. It kind of gives a warm, spicy leatheriness to the vanilla and keeps it interesting. So I really liked this. Like I said, I was super impressed. I think that I could see why a perfumer would make this for their own brand, because I can't see this being very popular in kind of mainstream perfume brands that you would get at the drugstore or at the department store. Like, this to me really smells niche. I think it's niche quality. I think it's ingredients that you don't necessarily get put together in a interesting way. So I liked it. Number 4, it doesn't seem to be super popular. I know that this brand has ones that are even more popular, and this is one of the lesser popular ones, but I really liked it. So that was a win for me. So those were the 2 that were lent to me by a friend of mine, and I'm super grateful that I got to try both of them out. Okay, moving on. I did get a couple things in PR, so let's talk about those. The first one is 304 by Bon Parfumeur. This is cumin, fleur d'amandier, and cedre. When I get something in PR, I definitely put it on strip, put it on skin. I try to understand it to the best of my ability so that I can explain to people what they might be smelling. And I think that's more than just saying something's good and something's bad. Something might not work for me and it might not work for somebody else, but I want people to know what they're going to smell before they encounter a bottle. That's really the goal. So this is one that I've been wearing. I do like it enough to wear it more than once. I think it's a fresh, easy wear, and it's not super cumin forward. which I think is good. It's more appealing to more people. I will probably review it more in depth at some other point. So that's 304 by Bon Parfumeur, launched this year, and I did connect with them at Essence, and yeah, they sent me this bottle. The other perfume that I got in PR, and I have reviewed this one already, but I was wearing it over the month of June, is the new Ledda. It's called 14 Isla Coco. This is a travel spray, and I didn't get a chance to show this in my other video, so I'm just pulling it out now. Super pretty. I really like this as a beachy perfume. I think it smells fresh and salty and sparkly. It makes me think of being at a beach resort and drinking a nice fruity, zingy kind of drink. And there is coconut milk in this perfume, but it's way easier to wear than the coconut in Fan Your Flames. It's just done in a way where it's a base note and it's not present for the entire wear of the perfume. It's supremely blended. It's light enough that you could spray on a lot, easy enough to wear, but really, I think my favorite beachy perfume that I've smelled, better than, you know, Tom Ford's Soleil Blanc. I know a lot of people think of that as their reference beachy perfume. I just think this one is a little bit better for the summer. The perfumer behind this one is Frank Vocal. I mean, I don't know. What else can I say? I like his style of blending notes, perfumes, and he doesn't really do anything that's too heavy-handed, and I really appreciate that. I think that's what works in so many of his other scents. Works for this one too. He's actually done all the perfumes for this brand, so this is my favorite one though. So I've been wearing that one a lot. Really enjoyed that. Took this in so that my friends could smell it. Everybody likes this one. It's just such an easy, fun, nice wear. Staying on the beachy theme, perfume that I bought in June was L'Artisan Ananas Fizz. I saw this come up for sale. It's a little 50 ml bottle. I think this is 50 ml. It just looks so small. I saw this come up for sale as a partial and I hadn't smelled it, so I just jumped on it. The price was right. I could not resist. This is a pineapple grapefruit perfume. It has a impressive longevity for being a citrusy perfume, for being something that's so light and fun and easy and fresh. It does last a really long time, especially if you put it on your clothes. So I have no regrets about buying this. This was totally a blind buy, but I love these gold-topped L'Artisan bottles, and so I got this, and I will keep it in my collection, finish wearing it, see how much more I wear of it over the summer. But this is a nice, fun summery wear. I did like this. The other thing I bought was the limited edition bottle of Chanel No. 5 Low, and I did post an unboxing of this. I have gotten the strangest comments from people in real life and online about this particular bottle. I think that people are not familiar with the low version of Chanel No. 5. At least, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think people are familiar with it. This is a more youthful version of Chanel No. 5. It's not the same. I have the Eau de Parfum and I have a Eau de Cologne from the 70s. This is just different. It's still fizzy with aldehydes, but there's a definite sweetness that's been added to it, and I think that's something that would appeal to a younger Chanel customer. It's more fresh and soapy, irisy for sure. So if you're looking for a more iris forward version of Chanel No. 5, then maybe the low is what you want to try. If you're not a fan of aldehydes, then maybe pass on this one, because this still has a lot of aldehydes in it, and it still has that familiar scent profile of Chanel No. 5. but you can see right underneath it says low. So it's different from the regular Chanel No. 5 and not the same. Someone left a comment and said, oh, I hope they keep true to the original. And it's like, what original? From the 1920s? Like, this version came out in 2016, so it's not that old. And I'm sure it has stayed pretty much the same since 2016. It's eau de toilette, perfect for the summer. I think that this shape of bottle is meant to be put in your purse or your carry-on. Like, it's meant to be easy to travel with. It fits in your hand. Other comments I got was that, you know, it doesn't stand up nicely. It's not meant to stand up. And if you're looking for a bottle that stands up, you can buy the same perfume in the square rectangular bottles and they will stand up on your shelf wherever you put this. This is just living in my perfume tray right now. I kind of spritz it on when I need a perfume refresh. So that's Chanel No. 5 Low. I like it. Again, no regrets. This is a limited edition. It's just kind of fun and easy to wear and just add in your collection. It's sold out online, but if you happen to be traveling and you go to the Chanel counter at duty free, they might still have it. I know that they had it this past weekend. I don't know if they have it when you see this video, but it did sell out really quickly. So that's the low version of Chanel No. 5. Okay, one last thing to talk about, and that is a sample that I loved quite a bit. I went into our local department store here and they recently got the entire line of Perfumehead perfumes. This is an indie brand out of LA. The founder is Canadian. We finally have them in store here. One of his perfumes did win a Art and Olfaction Award last year, I think 2023. So I was really interested in smelling the scents, and I went in and I got to smell the whole range. I ended up spraying Canadian Tuxedo on my arm before I left the store. I loved it. I immediately started looking for a bottle because these perfumes are rather expensive. They're $515 Canadian for 50 ml, which prices them as being more expensive than the Chanel Les Exclusifs, the Celine perfumes, the Guerlain L'Art and Matiere. And just for comparison's sake, I think the Chanels run for $500 for 75 ml, or maybe they're $515 or $525 now. Which is still pricey. That's still pricey, but still, with Chanel, you kind of know what you're getting, and they've been around for a while. For a new brand to price themselves at $515 for 50 ml, now you're pricing yourself as higher than Chanel. The L'Art et Matiere are also in that ballpark, but the bottles are 100 ml. And Frederic Malle, kind of a little bit less than that. Again, for a 50 ml bottle, you're looking at like $400 or something in that ballpark. So definitely at that counter, these are the most expensive perfumes that you can get. Now, oh, I don't know how much Creeds are. I've never bought a Creed, so I don't know what the price point for Creeds is, you know, retail at that department store. But they are pricing themselves as being more expensive, more luxurious, more high-end than the most high-end perfumes that you can get at that counter. The concentration is extra, so we're looking at, you know, 30 to 35% perfume oil in the formula. And I will say that they wore like extras. Like, you could smell them for the whole entire day. There was an impressive amount of sillage. There was complexity. They kind of changed as you wore them. I really enjoyed Canadian Tuxedo. I really did. And the dry down of it smells so similar to the dry down of Grand Soir by Maison Francaise Kurkdjian. And I love the dry down of Grand Soir, but I hate the opening of it. I think it's way too harsh and way too masculine. And I know that's a crowd pleaser of a scent, but it just doesn't work for me. But Canadian Tuxedo has a better opening. There's a wispiness to it. And then the dry down is this, you know, benzoin, vanilla, labdanum kind of blend. And it is just gorgeous and mouth-watering and everything you want a perfume to be, especially if you're looking for a winter perfume. I think that one would work really well. I also sampled Cosmic Cowboy, which I'm told is one of their best sellers. I didn't love it as much, and I'll tell you why. It has a whiskey top note that's very, very boozy, and like I said, for Fan Your Flames, I don't really enjoy a boozy top note or note in general in my perfume, and so that one didn't work for me as well, but it was still a great perfume to wear. Again, there's this really chewy, gummy kind of labdanum in the base. Someone asked me like, are the ingredients in this perfume worth $515? And I said, they're good ingredients. Like, you can smell, anytime I smell a labdanum that's really present and really sticks to your skin and gives that perfume a nice sticky base, that's not something you can find in a lot of other scents, because I think that ingredient is a unique ingredient and maybe a little bit more expensive. And I just say that because everything that I smell that's not expensive never has that in it. And I've smelled a lot of cheap perfume, I'm gonna say. And it's not even that it doesn't cost a lot of money. I'm not saying it's cheap to buy. I just think it smells cheap. Like, sometimes you go into the drugstore and everything smells the same, but everything is $200, and it's like, those ingredients aren't worth it. These ingredients do smell better. Like, the quality of the perfume is better. Is it the best perfume at the counter? No. Should it cost $515? I think that's a lot of money to spend on something that, I don't know. It's just a lot of money to spend. I'm not above spending $515 on perfume. I thought the Celine perfumes, though they're expensive also, are totally worth it. I might bite the bullet and get a bottle of Canadian Tuxedo anyways, but are the ingredients as good as the cost of perfume? I'm not explaining this properly. Do these ingredients, the quality of them, do they merit the cost, the high cost of the perfume? I'll say no, okay? There's nothing that you're gonna put in a perfume that makes it worth that amount of money. I think that they are just positioning themselves as being the best that's available at this perfume counter. And I will say that I would rather spend $500 on one of those perfumes than spend $500 on the new Frederic Malle that just smells like laundry detergent. I don't think that that was worth the money, but I think these are worth the money. But it's not because of the ingredients. It's just because these are the best that you can get right now. Maybe that explains it well. Hopefully something came out of that. Someone got something out of that. So that's Perfumehead. If you haven't smelled the perfumes, I highly recommend them. I will go back in store and see if I can spray myself with some of the other ones, because I want to try them all before I commit to one. I know for sure Cosmic Cowboy isn't for me, but if you're good with a whiskey note and you want a really rich smelling perfume, all of them smell really rich and interesting, bougie. Like I said, there's complexity, and they are all extraits, so they're not going to be skin scents. You're getting something that is a little bit better than what is currently available. And I really like them. No amber woods in sight, no generic bases in sight, just really good quality perfumery. Cool kind of iconography. Everything is like around LA and Hollywood and kind of like the golden era of Hollywood. So I love that. I think it positions them a little bit differently. Will they sell? I don't know. I think the majority of people haven't heard about this brand. People don't necessarily follow like art and olfaction award winners. So I don't know if the average person will walk in and buy something. I think there's going to be quite a bit of upselling from people that work there, and they definitely have their customers, but I don't know. Anyways, at the store, it's a trunk show that's going on, so they're testing to see if people are interested in the brand, and if it sells well, they'll keep them, and if it doesn't sell well, then they're going to disappear. So that is the story there. Let me know if you have smelled any of these. If you are familiar with Perfumehead, I would love to know your experience. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.